Go. All right, and we are live, and we're back Thursday night as always, 8 o'clock ish, 8 ish, ish.
Lots of bad weather.
As always, 8 o'clock.
Hold on, sorry.
Got some reverb there.
I got it. Lots of bad weather.
As always, 8 o'clock.
Hold on. Sorry.
Somebody have their phone on. Got some reverb there.
I'm trying to fix it.
I got mine off.
Somebody have their phone on.
I got it. I'm fixing it.
So I do love the sound of my own voice, so whatever. Oh, Lord. Okay. So tonight, let's see what to talk about. Well, obviously, we always go in order, so we're gonna be talking Kings chapter 6, John 1. Kerri's got the overview. But before we do that, do you guys want to talk about the episode a bit? Chapter 6.
Got it.
Okay. Do you guys want to talk about the episode a little bit? Maybe what you were disappointed in, what you really liked, and just maybe in general how you feel about it. And you guys, I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting super buffering on myself.
Well, I realized I had my Kindle turned way up. That was where the
Well, you know what? And that's what's going on with me at my house. I've got too many devices on one and be pulling at once. So let me a few items off here.
If I had to rate it like out of 10, I'd give it like a 7.5.
Yeah, 6.5, 7. I may be a little lower, but yeah.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the cinematography. I know the dragon thing was a little cheesy, but it was still pretty cool. Like, I don't know. I thought it was really well done, even if it wasn't, the perfect timing or setup or whatever. The Theon saving Yara so easily pissed me off.
Thank you. I agree, Kerri. Okay.
The whole brand smoking crack or whatever he's on, like, I don't, I mean, he's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I actually like that. Of course, Sam being told that his brother and dad are dead broke my heart. I wasn't too thrilled with the Ari and John reunion, and John Greenhands went back and made his own version because he wanted the Winterfell music to have been a part of it. I thought it was really stupid writing that Tyrion stood up in front of all the Northern Lords and tried to talk to them about,
Yeah, he just made it worse.
Army and, it's like, shut up, dude. Nobody wants to. I just think Tyrion seems to be putting himself in a he just seems to not be losing his mojo, I guess.
That's a good way to put it, Kerri. Like, something is messed up with Tyrion. He just made shit worse, truthfully, right?
Yeah. And
Tyrion's been losing his mojo, though. Like, that's no surprise.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I liked the part with Bran waiting on Jaime. I loved the part when Sam told John. I can't wait to see what that's going to explode into. I mean, I really did enjoy. I mean, it was the first episode. I saw a lot of people just going crazy, being so mad because we waited 2 years for this. But it was a first episode, so it was a setup episode. I liked a lot of the reunions. Those were all, except John and Arya could have been a little bit better. It was kind of cheesy with the, hey, my sword's bigger than yours kind of thing.
Like, we're having a dick measuring contest. Like, what? Oh, John.
But anyway, I like Arya and Gendry. That was adorable. Euron and Cersei, that was so messed up, man. I just was like, and see, when the trailer came out, people were like, Cersei looks like she lost the baby. And I thought to myself, Cersei looks like she just got laid. And that ended up being what happened. And then she did cry, though. We can talk about, whatever about Cersei, but she's either has been lying about being pregnant, or she's already lost the baby.
Oh, you think she's lying about it?
And one thing I'm going to say, I think it is really stupid story writing to use wine as a way to show the audience whether she's pregnant or not.
That's a really good point.
Do y'all think there were a lot of MDs back in the day saying that's dangerous, you shouldn't be doing that?
No, you know what? You're right. A lot of women back in the day still drank,
Women today, isn't red wine something pregnant women can drink?
Well, there's debate about it. Like, you can maybe have a tiny bit and depending on when in your pregnancy.
Yeah, not being a luck or anything.
I can't even say, because I'm not gonna. Don't sue me. When your kid turns out. Stuff.
Daenerys is pissing me off.
Well, I mean, come on now.
What now?
You know how I feel about that, but that's another.
I really don't know your Daenerys feelings. I've never been a huge fan of hers, and people probably get pissed. I mean, y'all chime in. I'm not the only one.
I'm not the biggest Daenerys fan. Well,
no.
She's an interesting character, but I'm a dark Daenerys believer. So to me, she behaved how she's supposed to behave in this episode, actually. But
I mean, I was okay with it. Like, I'm
so
I still, since they're cramming so much into the small time, it does feel very rushed to me. Like, everything is very basic and just very rushed. And the real storytelling that we had, I guess, up until season 3. I don't know. I try not to be. Did I enjoy the show? Yes. Did I look at the clock a few times to be like, oh, is this fixing to be over? I always do that when I'm watching something I'm really enjoying and I know what time it's going to be over. I look at the clock to try to figure out.
I don't do that.
Are we going to see this? I was okay. I was okay with it.
I actually found I was getting, like, when I had some friends over and we watched it and we were at the end, we're like, that's it? Wait. We, like, wanted more.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Robert was like. No, when it cut off.
And I mean, that's how I always feel. That's always a sign to me that it was a good episode. Or the best episodes are when I'm not like, that's it? What the fuck? But when I'm sitting there and I'm just like, wait, what? But just got his hand cut off. And then went right into that punk rendition of a bear in the Maiden Fair. That really blew my mind. That particular.
I didn't even remember that.
After the red wedding, I knew it was coming even, and I was just, in shock and awe. So I haven't had an episode do me that in a time. But if I'm looking to see how much more we can get, it's generally counted a good episode. And what
anybody
watched it once, and then I had recorded it on DVR, and then we just went right on into watching it a second time. So,
I've only watched it once. What do y'all think Arya drew in that picture for Gendry to make for her?
It's like a spear, right? Some type of spear.
It looks to me like it's a staff, like she used in Bravos, with some kind of thing that can either be detachable or it actually like is a projectile. Like
it looks like one of those little dart things to me that you'd shoot the little dart out of.
Yeah, like a blow dart kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's supposed to be longer than what it is on the piece of paper.
In the paper. Yeah.
I want to know what she's gonna do with it. She's gonna.
I don't know. She's pretty armed up. I mean, she's got
a lot of stuff.
She got a needle, she got her dagger, and now she's gonna have this. So. She's good to go, That's my favorite character, Arya.
Amanda Claire says it's an arrowhead. She would shoot the Night King with it. And Amanda D says, I so jumped when Ned Umber came back as a white.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
I felt sorry for him.
When that happened the first time, I knew it was going to happen. And I saw his eyes start to open and turn blue. And I was like, oh, he's going to do it. The second time I watched, I don't know what happened. I got distracted for a minute. And so I wasn't paying attention to the timing. And the second time I got more scared. Screech. Like I forgot the screech and I was like, I was really scared, and I was like, I knew this shit was gonna happen, but I was still scared.
I wasn't expecting the scream, but there's all these theories going around now about the Targaryen symbol and how much they favor and stuff like that, which I think is pretty interesting. So,
That swirly symbol.
What now?
You're talking about the swirly symbol being related to the Targaryens.
Yeah. Like when they set it on fire, it was very similar. And I know everybody believes that the Night King is a descendant of the Starks, but what if he was Valyrian, and that's why he was able to get Viserion, or was wanting Viserion, or I don't know. It's just thoughts I've had floating around in my head.
There was an interesting article I read. I'll have to see if I can find it again. I think it's on my other computer, about this sort of spiral nature of time, and that Game of Thrones is commenting on the spiral nature of time. And it was interesting, and like I've thought that kind of before, but obviously it said it more eloquently than I can. And I think you get that in the books more than you do even on the show. This sort of everything's happened.
It was all,
a little different, and
and it is the same rock format, set up and everything as where they created the Night King, and other places the children they've marked in the cave. And I also want to compare it to like a wheel.
Yeah.
The wheel being broken too. That's, a possibility. But I think it's definitely them saying, this is where you made us. You did the same thing to my chest like you did to the little Ned Umbers. And this is what I'm pissed about, and this is this is my message, like Barrack said, or whoever said they're sending us a message. So, and that joke, it was kind of cornball, but it just cracked me up like right off, as soon as it was said.
Wait, what joke?
About Ed said, "Watch out, he's got blue eyes." And
yeah. The Drogon eyes thing seemed real cartoony to me. I don't know if I cared for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of kind of cheesy, sort of like cheesy moments. Like, and also like, I'm not sure how I feel about the ball jokes. Like, come on. Like, how old? We're not in middle school, guys. Like,
I think okay, I know Daenerys has believed her whole life that she's the true ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. And so she's a queen, and she's gone through so much and accomplished so much, but she's just so entitled. That's the best one. She just is so like, I'm the queen, so you better respect me, or we're gonna have some problems. She just kind of takes that too far.
Only a princess.
Because I think now she's in a place where people aren't. She technically threatened Sansa twice, and like I don't know what Jon is doing. I don't know what's going on. I've read a lot of stuff this week, and I keep changing my mind on what I think. Some just think being naive.
Yeah.
Some think he's playing the game, and he's just like, I think maybe he's a little terrified of Daenerys.
Jon?
Yeah. Or he's trying to steal a dragon. I really don't know what his deal is right now. Because like usually when people have threatened Sansa, he loses it. Like he gets pretty upset. And she kind of like threatened her twice, and he just didn't do much, like didn't react much. Like, or his reaction was very subtle. Like he didn't, I don't know.
She is his sister. And I started liking Sansa more, like I was giving her more of a chance, and I still think she's doing a good job. I think she needs to chill out. I can understand where she's coming from, but some of the stuff.
Well, I was very surprised at, I think I did not expect this in this first episode as a Jon's a shipper. Like they really played up the Sansa. I think she's jealous. And like, I thought they would wait till either like like, I'm like, wow, she's really showing she's jealous of like her man, like
technically Sansa would hold the rank basically as a duchess, which is the daughter of a prince or princess.
Yeah.
That's all she is. But then technically, Sansa is the only sister of the king. So technically, she would,
Right.
and unless John has daughters, Sansa's even higher than Daenerys. Actually, if you look at it, like,
Oh,
Right.
as
Well,
like, if you look at like history, and if this is going by War of the Roses, like this is Tudor style or whatever, then like when Henry VIII divorced
mm,
uh,
I am Henry
Anna
VIII.
Cleves, he made her his honorary sister. She took when Mary finally came into her throne. It was Elizabeth and Anne of Cleves riding directly behind Mary because they held the same rank. Okay, and so technically now Sansa's actually higher than Daenerys if you look at it like that, which I really enjoy thinking that. I gotta let my dog in.
yeah, that's, I mean, no, and I think you know, there's one level where Sansa is actually, you know, she's upset because of like the political reasons of like
Right.
John gave up the kingdom, like what's he doing, and then where does that leave her, like her status? But if John has no status now, she actually has like,
Well, actually, though, I guess her and Sansa are going to be equal because Daenerys is still the heir to the Iron Throne until John has.
Oh, look,
right,
Lyanna
no,
Mormont.
I think Daenerys has never had to deal with someone like Sansa before, and then also like Sansa like but I thought even more than the political stuff, she was just jealous. Like I was like,
I think they were both a little bit catty to each other, and
Yeah.
you know, whenever anybody is, you know, she came in home and Sansa again. You know, so, John did exactly what Sansa doesn't like, in that he didn't ask her opinion, and not only did he not ask her opinion, he took it pretty far. You
yeah.
know,
Well, she pegged
so,
it
like,
when she said, "Did you do this because you wanted to save the North or because you love her?"
right.
She, and just like with Tyrion, she's like, "You really think your damn sister is sending armies up here, an army up
You
here?"
guys know Fura Hexa? Have you guys ever seen Fire Witch's videos? She is a firm believer that John is playing Daenerys.
I think so.
Lover, that he's just sleeping with her.
He's gonna have to choose between her and his family. I mean, and you know,
technically, he's done
Arya's
this
already been
before.
saying.
I mean, I know he claimed to love Brett, but technically, to begin with, he was fond of her. But I don't know that he, you know, was just in love with her right from the bat. I think he was more intrigued by her at first. He hadn't been around that many girls in his life, you know.
Right.
So.
Well, I think maybe he's kind of like maybe make the best of a bad situation. But I go back and forth on whether I think he's like full on playing her or whether it's more of like, I need to manipulate her to get this. And like, if I have to marry her, if I have to be with her, not worst thing in the world kind of deal.
I kind of disagree with that because the way John was raised by Ned.
But then he kind of did that.
I don't think he'd ever let a bastard be born into this world at all. I mean, if she drops the dime that she's pregnant, they're getting married, period. And anybody who doesn't think that, I just
right
away in hell.
I think John's too honorable. I mean, like when Sam told him the truth, you know, he's like, "That's treason," you know, and stuff. I mean, I think
it's more treason. He's worried it's going to get them all killed versus
I don't think he's trying to play Daenerys to get like something and just throw her to the side. No way.
No, I don't think that's his. I don't think that was like his intent. I think he's playing her to try to control her. And it's like, if I have to marry her, it could be worse. Like, you know what I mean? He's sort of like, not bad, fine, okay, you know.
You know, when they were hot, you know, took their thrilling dragon roller coaster ride, and you know, kissing and being all whatever. I don't know. I think he's truly in love with her.
I think he's truly in love with her. Oh, I hope not. Come on, John. What are you doing?
Y'all want to give a shout out to the chat?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, we talk about whether or not John's in love with Daenerys.
We haven't even started the book, guys. We've just been
start. Yeah, let's start the
book. You know, when you wait 17 months for something, it's just even.
Yeah. Robert kept arguing with me. He's like, "It hadn't been 2 years." I'm like, "Yes, it has."
I think it was like 17 months or something. Chat. Does anybody know?
He thought it only been a year. So
no, it's only 17 months. But there were things in this chapter that we read that actually, I think, relate.
The shadow of a shadow.
Yeah,
We're going to get on it.
I think there's some things that relate to the first episode that we just saw. So that was kind of
Definitely. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good setup one, Let's see. Living on a prayer, sitting in her car. Let's see. I know there's more than just Nancy T. Got here first. Peter Griffin, Bubba Husky, Amanda, Fearless Mermaid. Let's see. I saw a couple other people. I thought Nancy T. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through.
Milt says, "Hey everyone, too lazy to say hi and type everyone's name." I understand that, Milt. That's fine.
Welcome, AC Spots. Drinks and Knows Things is here tonight. And sorry, I'm going through. And Milt, Westerosi Ninja. And that's it for now. So thank you guys.
Okay, so everybody knows me. I'm Jen. Liz, I guess go ahead and introduce yourself. Brian, you introduce yourself. And then Kerri, take us straight into your John 1 chapter overview.
Okay.
Kings.
okay. Hi, I'm Liz. You all know me here. We were just talking about the first episode. I popped my recap in the chat. So I have a recap. It's the friend link for Medium. So you should all be able to check it out when you get a chance. And yeah, and I talk, my links are in the description. I'm both Liz Galo on Twitter and Castalia Reed on Twitter. And you may have read a lot of my fan fiction, or I'm also on Quora as Liz Gallo, answering lots of questions this week, lots of questions about the episode. So I'm going to try to tweet some of those out or get some of those out because there's some pretty crazy debates going on in my.
People ask me the craziest question. I hate the questions that people ask me that are hypothetical.
Oh, someone asked me
I don't even answer those. Someone
asked me if Samwell could be the child of the real the Aegon of Rhaegar and Ilya, and I was like,
theory. That's a theory. You don't know that theory?
I have heard that. Yeah,
never.
I have heard that.
It's a theory.
From Rudy,
I don't know. People who believe that theory should. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult anyone. You can have your. But really.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But that's not as bad as the hypothetical ones are like, what if Rob would have survived the Red Wedding?
Right, I hate those. I'm like, and sometimes when something's kind of dumb, I'll just put like you say something, and I'll be like, "What? Why did Tywin do that?" I'll be like, "Because he's a dick." You know, I don't explain it out or whatever.
Anyways,
rewrite the whole series,
right?
To explain what would happen if Rob was not killed at the Red Wedding.
Then we wouldn't have the same book. Like, anyways. All right, Bran, it's you. It's all you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Branwick. I don't do anything. I just come to book club on Thursdays. You won't find me answering any questions online. I don't know.
Oh, come on. You're not writing any metas or...
You're making fun of me. That's fine. I'll write them for you.
Go, Liz.
All right, Kerri, whenever you're ready.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, you can.
I'm sorry. Okay. Kerri McDonald. My stuff's in the description. I'm pretty much on book club. Sometimes I've been on with Vengeance a couple times. Other things, but this is where I'm hanging right now.
Shout out to Ree. She's got family commitments.
Yeah.
We completely understand that.
She has a wedding this weekend on 4/20. So I think it's her birthday. Somebody and the girlfriend did on that for that day on purpose. All right, serious time.
I wanted to have an edibles.
What now?
I said, I wonder if they're having edibles instead of cake.
I'm sure maybe Rita's already made her own.
That sounds
All
delicious.
right. John 1. Did you put this in the description? Chapter 6.
Mhm.
John finds Sam. Okay, I'm going to have to remove my glasses because I'm old. John finds Sam in the dark library of Castle Black, where Sam has found maps for more months ranging north with 200 men from Castle Black. Out in the courtyard, John talks with Donald Noy about the new recruits. And then I started getting a little more in depth. While John is talking to Sam, he mentions Sam could write an account of their journey. Sam is terrified to go, but needs to attend to the ravens for Maester Aemon. He wants someone else to take his place. When John is speaking with Donald Noy, they discuss Robb being king. John thinks he will be a good one, and he's saying that out of loyalty. Pretty much. Noyle thought the same thing of Robert Baratheon once. John asks what the other Baratheon brothers are like. Noy says Robert was the true steel. Stannis is pure black iron, hard and strong, but brittle like iron gets. He'll break before he bends. Renly is copper, bright, shiny, pretty to look at, but pretty much worthless. John wonders what Robb's metal would be. Thorne Smallwood, who is the first ranger, is trying to talk Mormont out of leading the ranging. He keeps telling him he's too old. Mormont will have none of that. He's getting pretty ticked. Their 200 men are being met by Corn Halfhand with another 100 men from the Shadow Tower. They're going beyond the wall, by the way. He dismissed. Let's see. Wait a minute. I can't see you guys. He's dismissed. Sorry. Smallwood. Then Mormont gets rid of Sam and his fear and trepidations. He's like, he leaves. He explains that Maester Aemon could have been king to John. He was quietly offered the throne and turned it down. Mormont's raven keeps saying king, 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 and other things. He says that John and Maester Aemon have something in common. Both are brothers of kings. And we saw that on the show, how that was told. I'm not getting into that. How Robb will be garbed in silks, satins, and velvets, while John will live and die in black ringmail. Robb will wed a beautiful princess. Singers will sing of all of his good deeds. Tell me none of that bothers you, John. John asks what a bastard like him might do if these facts do trouble him. Mormont asks him, what will you do? And John says, he will be troubled, but he will keep his vows.
Will you, John? Will you?
Kerri, when I was
Will he keep his vow?
When I was reading this chapter, I was like, I don't know how Kerri's going to make this overview. It was like so big, it seemed.
I know. I just tried to
Oh my
so
God.
we can talk, and then way we can talk about it more. I don't want to write everything down. You know what I
That
mean?
was good.
There was a lot of
Did
because
really
I was
Kerri.
highlighting. I was highlighting in the chapter. I'd read it a couple times on my Kindle, but I didn't in my book, and so I was doing that tonight pretty quickly. And Naomi was making fun of me. She's like, "You're underlining every damn sentence, Mom." But anyway, so yeah, I tried to make it short and sweet. I always get nervous with overviews. I don't know why, so I'm trying to break that. Get over my fear.
Good lately.
You did good.
Proud.
Oh well, thank you guys. You're sweet.
I think the chapter starts off. I mean, I love how it's like he's all in black, like Jen was saying, a shadow among shadows. Like that's such a great line. And I love how he's in the library, and he kind of mentions now. I want to point this out because I feel like the show doesn't do a good enough job of showing this. But John has like serious PTSD or trauma from when he burnt his hand and from that whole incident with the right, where he kills the right for the first time. Like, it's really like, the fact that he's like, wears the gloves, not because it's cold, but because like he's covering his hand and like he's really self-conscious about it being burnt. And I just think, Yeah, I think he's got a lot of trauma there around that incident. And that's kind of why later on he's so like anti-burning and stuff. And
Mhm.
I just, yeah, every time I see it, I feel like in a John chapter, it kind of comes up.
And Arya's.
Yeah. So he's really,
Well, Melisandre.
Melisandre's, yeah. And it really relates.
Yeah.
It relates him to the Hound too, because the Hound's got the scar, the burn scar, and
It's true.
anyways, I like that a lot. I like that part a lot.
That is the part.
How does
Good visuals.
how does Sam know that the Citadel doesn't have all these texts there, like the scrolls from Old Valyria and the
Yeah,
Count of
that's
the
cool.
Seasons?
Yeah, he's so
Good question.
excited. Sam reminds me of somebody who should be like not an archaeologist but an anthropologist because of how he is so interested in, the accounts and like
Yeah.
how they lived and what they ate and what this the guy that went to Lorne, I can't remember his name now off the top of my head, that traded with the children of the forest, and John's like, that's not treasure. Treasure is gold and silver, and jewels and stuff. So
It was a red wine whose mother was one of the green apple castaways.
that's okay, thank you.
Yeah. I love that part. Like I love when Sam was talking about like the food stuff and the ledgers about food that they ate. And that reminded me of this episode when Sansa's talking about like, what are we going to eat? And even before that in season 7, and she's talking about like, well, like we need to get food from here. Like food is a big deal. And I know in the Night's Watch, like in the future books, like they really talk about like food and how much food they need for winter and all that a lot. So I liked this this little drop of like Sam being like, John's like, who cares about the food ledgers? Like, whatever, who needs to know that? And like, oh, that's really important information, you dumbass.
That's why I know that I think he should be, I see Sam as an anthropologist.
Yeah, he's so adamant about it. He's like, you can learn so much from ledgers. Truly, you can. It can tell you how many men were in the Night's Watch then, how they lived, what they ate. And John's like, they ate food like us, and they
John,
and he's never really speaks up on anything. So the fact he's speaking up on this and food is mentioned so much, like it really is like when they're giving it out, to not to jump ahead, but there comes a time when they give some away. So I think it might end up being truly pertinent. The fact
I think the food issue is like in the future books, once winter is going to be a big thing. I've always thought that. Also, in this little scene with him and Sam, I noticed John tells Sam, maybe you could write an account of our ranging, Sam. And I was like, does anyone else think Sam is the one who writes the Song of Ice and Fire, like at the very end?
Yes.
I feel like this is like foreshadowing that. I was like,
yeah. And then the thing with on the show with Grandmaster, what's his name?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. But and he makes fun of his title and stuff like that.
Yeah.
George Martin has kind of alluded to that a little bit, even I mean in the writing definitely, but kind of in like interviews and stuff.
Yeah, I hope it's Sam. Well, I hope it's like Sam with help from Bran. Like Bran is his like research person.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Never mind. I was about to talk about the episode.
I know. I keep doing
it's just not working.
Does someone want to read the part about the Baratheon medals and what the 3 different brothers were?
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I have it here.
Stannis is iron because he won't bend and then he'll break, and how Renly is like bronze, very pretty and shiny, not worth too much in the end. And I don't remember the other one.
Robert was true steel.
Yeah.
Stannis is pure iron, black and hard and strong. Yes, but brittle, the way iron gets. He'll break before he bends. And Renly, the one, he's copper, bright and shiny, pretty to look at, but not worth all that much at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And what metal is Rob? John did not ask. Boy, man.
When John tells Sam, "You'll be as safe as you were back in your father's castle at Hornhill," and poor Sam's like, never very safe there either. And
Oh yeah.
poor Sam is so terrified. He's trying to get John to take care of the ravens. He's trying to get, Grin, and then Pip and Toad can't go on the ranging.
Yeah.
So I just found that really heartbreaking for poor Sam. His chin's quivering, and and John tells him we're all scared, and but it's just not something that he's gonna do his duty. But
Yeah.
I mean, this chapter shows me some big, like with John, some big character arc moments, because I didn't realize in the books until I got back. I mean, I've read them a bunch of times till we got to Clash this chapter, that this is the way John found out about Maester Aemon's lineage.
Right. I thought he found out didn't he find out in the first book at one point, like at the end when they're talking? Doesn't
No.
he tell him he's Aemon Targaryen? But maybe he didn't know the lineage, I guess.
Well, I mean, Mormont, this is kind of more towards the end of the chapter, but Mormont definitely tells him everything. Like, this was his father, and this was what happened, and he was the fourth. His brother was the fourth son of a fourth king. Aegon, or what was he Aegon the Unlikely, or
Fourth son of a fourth son?
Yeah, Aegon Aegon 5. He was a son of Aegon.
Okay.
No, he was the brother of Aegon 5. So he was the son
of first. Okay, that's right. Right.
He was Maekar first son.
Yeah. But I thought
he was the son of Maekar, and then he was the son of Aemon, right?
Aerion
was the son of.
I remember Aerion Brightflame being mentioned in the chapter.
Yeah, they skip over him. He says that. They skip over him.
Where's the family tree? Where's the Targaryen family tree?
I don't know, Bubba. Okay, he was definitely the son of Maekar, but it was rumored that he might be somebody, that Maekar might have been not Aegon the Unworthy's kid, but somebody else's kid.
No, that was Darren. Darren.
Yeah, okay.
So, Darren.
Yeah, Ree, we need you.
Varys, and then, or not Varys, Ares 1, and then oh man, let me just look it up here.
All right, get that for us, Liz. Thank you.
In the
I
chapter.
could have said fourth son of a fourth son, though.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Targaryen family tree. Jesus.
That's a quagmire.
You need my help.
Hey, Peter Griffin.
Well, I think Arian was Maker's uncle or father, and they didn't want to give him the throne. So after Maker, Maker dies, and then things happened to all of Aemon's other brothers except for, is it Ares the first? What is it, Ree? Do you want to come up?
Oh, there's the
first blast. You want to come on the chat?
So basically,
we're all confused.
Wait, what are you asking? What was the question?
We were just talking. Aemon was the third son. His brother became king, and he was the fourth son.
Aemon was the third son. He was Aegon the Unlikely was his brother.
I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you, Liz. I was laughing.
Oh, I know,
Bubba.
I
think Stannis ate Donald Noy's arm during the Siege of Storms.
Yeah, they were hungry.
Wait, now read Bubba Husky's comment. I'm like, what?
Are you serious? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I just need to.
Are you joking, Bubba? Or you being serious?
I just need to get to the page in the chapter where it says it all. Hold on.
Okay, here. So, what the? Where's Darren?
Okay. Bubba Husky says, I think Stan is. I don't know if you're serious or not, but I'm going to read this. Hey, Carlisa. Okay.
Yeah.
He says, I think Stannis ate Donald Noy's arm during the scene.
That's what I know. It's
He's
hilarious.
still smithing at the Castle Black, so it's not because he couldn't work. He didn't break the law or anything. Sent him to the wall. But if Stannis paid him for his arm, he might have sent him away because he was uncomfortable to see him.
Is
All right, here
Stannis?
we go. I found it.
That's possible.
Okay. Aegon's father's father was Daeron Targaryen, the
Right.
second of his name, who brought Dorne into the realm. Part of the pact that he wed a Dornish princess. She gave him 4 sons. Aemon's father, Maker, was the youngest of those, so he's
Right.
the 4th son. And Aemon was his 3rd son.
Right.
All this happened before I was born. Maester Aemon was named for the Dragon Knight. Some say Prince Aemon was King Daeron's true father, not Aegon the Unworthy. Be
Right.
that as it may, our Aemon lacked the Dragon Knight's martial nature. He likes to say he had a slow sword, but quick wits. Small wonder his grandfather packed him off to the Citadel. He was 9 or 10. Maester Aemon had counted more than 100. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Aemon was at his books when the eldest of his uncles, the heir apparent, was slain in a tourney mishap. He left 2 sons, but they followed him to the grave not long after during the spring sickness. King Daeron was also taken, so the crown passed to Daeron's 2nd son, Aerys. And then John thinks it's the Mad King, but it was Aerys the first.
Mm.
Let me keep going. Aemon take his vows. Aemon left the Citadel to serve at some lordling's court until his royal uncle died without issue. The Iron Throne passed to the last of King Daeron's 4 sons. That was Maker, Aemon's father.
Mm-hmm.
The new king summoned all his sons to court and would have made Aemon part of his councils, but he refused, saying that would usurp the place rightly belonging to the Grand Maester.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Instead, he served at the keep of his eldest brother, another Daeron. The next brother was Aerion. Aerion the Monstrous. John knew that name, the very one, though he named himself Aerion Brightflame. One night in his cups, he drank a jar of wildfire. Let's see. Not quite a year after Kingmaker died in battle. So then there was the Great Council. The lords passed over Prince Aerion's infant son and Prince Daeron's daughter and gave the crown to Aegon. They offered it to Aemon in quiet, and so, secretly, and then he told him that he didn't want to do it, and so then we have Aegon the Unlikely.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
I had to find it back in the chapter.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not good with lineage. I need to write it down and have it out in front of me, that's the way I can retain information.
Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to look at this Targaryen lineage on the wiki on the A Song of Ice and the wiki of Ice and Fire, and it is very not
right. I mean, I'm just trying to get the Tudors and the Stuarts and the Emperors and the Valois and the Capays and the Bourbons straight, much less fictional motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I mean, I didn't go into
all mirror each other and all have the same names. I'm like, you're like,
As we have
Aries married which sister? Like, I don't know.
right. It's extremely confusing, and then you've got the same. Is that same annuity going on?
But they both married their sister.
So you done got me on here now because you was fucking up the Targaryen so bad I had to come and correct some shit now.
You were cussing us, huh?
They're fucking up.
I was like, no, my head's spinning and I'm not on that many drugs.
I know more A Song of Ice and Fire family tree than real life. Hey,
Right.
Hey, you.
Right. Hey. Did you figure out hey you did you figure out though you like who Eamon is in relation to everybody?
Yes.
We did.
Not
We got it
that
right.
quick.
He is Aegon the Unlikely's older brother. Aegon Five's older
Right. And he's also okay. Let me back it up a little bit for you though, because he's more than that. He
I
Well,
was
yeah,
trying.
Alright.
I was doing my best.
hang on.
that's who he is.
You had Darren the Good, right?
All right, are you take us away? I'm
And-
gonna mute.
Yeah, you had Darren the Good, and if we had Baylor Breakspear, who was actually Baker's brother, and Darren the Good was their father. And he was Breakspear. Balon Breakspear was actually supposed to be king, but he died, and that happened in the first Duncan Egg novella. So when that happened, Makor kind of blamed himself for a long time, and because of the mental stability of one of the brothers, and just other circumstances, Makor, who was himself the fourth brother, ended up getting the throne when his father died, Darren. Now, he had 4 sons. He had Darren the Dreamer, or the Drunkard, actually. But he's the one that was haunted by the dreams. He's in the first Duncan Egg book, too, when we first meet him, and he is the one that was supposed to be watching Egg. And he's the very first one that tells Dunk that he had the dream about him. Maester Aemon actually ends up on Dragonstone with him and writes down his dreams. So he has a lot of prophesized dreams, just like Davies the Dreamer does, which is why he drank. Now, he was one of the sons. Then we have Arian Brightflame, who was a major dick.
Yeah.
And he's the one that drank the wildfire when he got drunk and thought he was hot shit.
He's the
And
one
he drank the
that started all
wildfire.
that shit with Tansel Too Tall and Duncan the Tall, right?
Right.
Yes.
That was Arian. Yes. And he got, and Dunk went over there and crushed his hand and the foot. Yeah. And what's by 7 with Duncan Egg. Yes. And Makor, you say Makor sulks down in Summerhall. And that's pretty much what he was doing, because he blamed himself for Baylor Breakspear's death for that, because he was an idiot. He should have known better, but he let his pride get to him, basically.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Where does Aries the First fit into all this? I didn't keep up with that part very well.
I'm getting to it. I'm almost there, okay?
All right.
So Arian Brightflame, that he was an idiot. He drank wildfire, thought he could turn into a dragon. He obviously didn't. He died. So then it was Aemon's turn. Aemon was already a maester at this point, and him and Dunk were actually the 2 closest. Or him and Egg were actually Aegon. They were the 2 closest brothers, and had always been. And he turned the crown down. He said no, he didn't want it. And he was a maester, and that's what he wanted to be. And that's about all we know as far as why he turned it down. And it fell upon Eggs, who was another 4 sons. So Aegon the Fifth, also known as Egg, became the king. Now, one of his sons, he had 4 sons, and he let them marry for love, because he married for love, because he was a king that grew up more among the common people. So he let his children marry for love, which kind of messed up and caused some problems with some of the higher lords, because they got butthurt. That's where you get the Prince of Dragonflies and Jenny of Old Stones and all that happening. That's where those stories come in.
Isn't it I have a question about that, because didn't he originally try to arrange their marriages, and then
they all had arranged marriages,
and then they were like, no, we don't want to do this, that we want to marry who we want to marry, and then he's like, okay,
right, and they all had arranged marriages, and then the only one that was set was for it was actually for his son Jaehaerys, and and they kind of skip this in the show from the book. They said Jaehaerys was to marry his sister, and I can't think of her name right now, and it's because from their line,
Hold on, I have it. Jaehaerys.
you get Rhaegar and Aerys and Rhaella.
Yeah. So Jaehaerys
Yes.
you married Shara or Shara.
Yeah.
Shira.
Yes.
Sea-Star?
And then, right. No.
Okay.
That's a different person.
That was
That's
Blood
Aegon
Raven.
the Fourth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
still a blood raven used to
She's like
fight over.
Shara, maybe is how you say her name. Shara.
Right. Or more like like they have like Sarah and Shara and Shira. Yeah, there's all kinds of different things.
It's SH.
It's a pretty cool name. Once you start looking at them and figuring out how to say them, they're very beautiful names. But but from Jaehaerys, he was actually Jaehaerys II, but they cut him out of the show and made it just Aegon being the father or the grandfather.
Right.
But it's technically John's or Danny's grandfather is technically Jaehaerys.
And then Aerys too.
And then Aerys was his son and Rhaella, and they were married while the other ones married whoever, And he was really cool king too. But he just had a very short, obviously, because he was one of the princes. Like he died at Summerhall and all that.
Oh, right.
Did they have any
It
children?
was like his father Aegon. Well, it was his father Aegon at Summerhall died. He died at Summerhall too. So it was like at Summerhall, two kings died at the same time. So he never really got to be king other than at Summerhall when he died. And that all depends on who died first. Did he die first or did his father?
Oh,
so if Aegon died first, Jaehaerys would have been king.
But
you know what I mean?
Here I'm confused though, because Jaehaerys 2 on the date, it says 259 to 262. So AC, like he must have been king. So he must have not died at Summerhall, right?
Or stepped down, or either Aegon stepped down and passed it on to him. Yeah, because it lists him as Jaehaerys II. It does. Yeah. And then he gets cut out of other parts. Like I said, with the show, they cut him out completely.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's confusing, but the whole Summerhall area in general is still like a big mystery.
Oh, of course.
So that's why, that gets confusing. But then we have, like, with even where Dunk saved Rhaella and Aerys, and those are supposedly, and that's where Rhaegar was born, right?
Right. Yes.
So here's the thing about that. If Dunk saved them, then that would mean Dunk got away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he?
You would think, especially considering that his shield ends up on Tarth, found in Brienne's house, as a part of Brienne's house. So to me, that makes me think that Dunk survived Summerhall too.
You think Dunk survived?
Oh yeah, totally.
I can believe that.
He saved their lives. He saved their lives, and if he couldn't get back in there to save nobody else, then as Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, he would be honor bound to now protect them.
Do you think Dunk? I've heard a theory that Dunk actually like put a stop to whatever they were going to try to do at Summerhall, and then it went like.
I don't think Dunk would.
No,
because Dunk and the relationship they had, I think he would have totally supported him whatsoever. I think the Maesters screwed with it, and I don't think they failed. I think they succeeded. I think dragons did hatch there because of all the Targaryens there and the fire and blood combination. I think it was a success, and we just don't know.
I don't know.
We just don't know totally yet.
I mean, we don't know what happened. But I've heard a couple different theories that are kind of interesting. Like the one was saying that basically this theory said that Aegon 5 was basically going to sacrifice Rhaella, a pregnant Rhaella, and when that happened, and when Dunk realized that's what was going to happen, he saved Rella, and she was pregnant at the time, and the baby or something. That there was something
Yeah,
around,
I don't see that.
but I don't know.
And I've heard that one too.
Yeah.
I don't see that
Okay.
because just of the whole part of Egg and how he is and everything.
Yeah.
And I you know, I just don't see that being part of his character. I can see him going far to hatch the dragons, but I don't see him
You don't
going
see
as
him
far
going
as to,
Yeah, I think that's
especially not with his great grandchild that's an heir to the throne and all the prophecy and all that went with it too. Now, here's something I want to bring up really quick, especially because this is about John and stuff.
Yeah.
When I went bouncing through just different magazines and stuff, Kerri, this I'm talking to you,
Mhm.
and just different stuff that we've been seeing for the new season. Have you guys been noticing the fourth dragon?
What?
Wait, what? Okay, hold on.
The fourth
Oh
dragon?
yeah, on the intro.
Out of
On
my
the
head.
intro.
I'm gonna need an explanation. And shit.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't hear
I
what
think
she
I know
said.
what you're talking about, but I need an explanation.
Wait,
Gray
what?
Area did a video about it.
About what? About what?
On the astrolabe in the opening
Oh,
credits.
the new one.
It's
Yeah,
showing
yeah.
different things, and one of them is a comet that has the head of a dragon, and then there's 4 dragons.
Right.
Along with the
Now
comet.
we know right, and we know we got the 4 dragons in the world book, right? And
Mhm.
then I seen them, and I believe it was one of the magazines or something too, where it also had the 4 dragons. Like in some of the artwork or something, I've seen it somewhere else too, other than the astrolabe. So I'm getting really suspicious now of the 4th dragon.
Yeah. Well, I saw a video about Bridge 4. All right, all these people are on the chat, and then in Hangouts or something's going on at the same time.
It's bad weather
And
in a
then
lot of
winds
places. There
buzzing
were
and-
tornadoes today in Mississippi. I know
Yeah.
for a fact there was bad weather here yesterday. We're still getting wind. Brian up there in them there hills on that mountain says he's got bad weather.
Yeah, here too. It's lightning really badly.
Right.
And we're supposed to have
That's
high
all right.
winds.
Apparently Amanda has bad weather all the way over there in Australia, so it must just be a thing. It's the full moon. Isn't it a full moon tonight, you guys?
It's a full moon, and they took the damn cargoes down.
It's a full moon Friday is what on my calendar says.
Okay.
You know, one thing I found kind of pretty to talk about possibly is the when John comes up and talks about the wall, and sometimes it seemed a living thing with moods of its own. The color of ice was wanting to change. Every shift of the light, deep blue, frozen rivers, dirty white of old snow, and when a cloud should pass before the sun, it darkened the pale gray of pitted stone. It just started me thinking about the magic that's in the wall and stuff, and how the colors change and things like that. And that John mentions it was the end of the world and we are going beyond it. This was a big chapter for John,
Yeah, I think so.
In his story. And I love how, he didn't want to go do whoring with the guys. He didn't want to pray in the set. My God's is that where we're going, hidden in the hunt, in the natural places. That's not what the word he uses, but in the wide open spaces. And I just think that part is pretty beautiful because
it is. Do you know where that part is? Can you read it? Do you have that part marked out? Do you want to read that?
It's it says that about, wait, I moved my page here. A living thing. Well, they're still talking about seeing the comet too, and now they're calling it Mormon's
Like next can see it during the day.
See, I always used to think, and this I haven't thought this in a long time, but it always used to make me think that the wall is a living thing. Like maybe
Right.
it is a dragon that maybe is frozen there or something. Like it doesn't even have to be an ice dragon, but maybe there was a dragon or something magical frozen inside the ice. Because how it weaves and it seems to show emotion.
Yeah, yeah. That okay. Thank you, Ree. You spelled it. You said what I was trying to say. Like,
Well, I found the passage.
do y'all think the wall's going to be an obsidian one, like they did in that teaser trailer thing, or
a new wall?
Yeah,
together?
I think they're gonna have. Yeah, I do.
Or they're going to rebuild the original wall.
I think no wall. No wall.
No, I think they showed that for a reason. I think ice and fire are going to clash in the middle of the road. We're going to get that new obsidian wall.
Godza. I know that they're showing the symbolism is at the Arrowhead Mountain, but the God's Eye still has to have something to do with it. I just can't get over that. I just can't. I can't.
Well,
let
the
that
God's
go.
Eye,
Yes,
the Blackwood, it's in the Riverlands, which is considered the heart of Westeros. It's where God's Eye obviously is. It's where the most.
Brian, you need to share that thought, please.
What?
Brian has something that I think is pretty clever about if there are 4 dragons. Brian, something like it's hot, babe.
Yeah.
What I was going to mention, Kev did a video about the dragons, and they're watching John and Danny kiss. Dragons are reptiles, or what? Amphibians can change sex. And what if the 2 dragons hatches some eggs?
I mean, they can.
Yeah, I think already.
Galo and Drogon have little baby dragons.
They could, I think.
I think that would be wonderful to have more dragons, but I think all of the dragons are probably going to have to die this season, right?
Yeah.
I want you to tell what you were saying about if symbolically they're talking about people that are Targaryens, then if it's Jaime and Cersei are actually Targaryens, then there are 4 dragons.
Oh, good, Jen.
It's Brian.
Yes.
You heard it right here in the comments on the side. I'm like, Brian, say that.
Good job, Brian.
Well, I associate Cersei with wildfire.
See, and I thought
100%. I think if anybody's the secret card, it's Cersei, definitely. And I don't know if it's because, like, I've seen some crazy ass theories, like where it's 2 separate semens from 2 different men, and I've seen some crazy.
I love that.
Apparently, they can technically happen.
No, but
some really crazy stuff out there, but
people used to believe that really happened though. When you had twins, like I feel like back way.
Oh, here's the thing.
They believe you could have like twins from 2 different whatever.
Apparently it is a thing. It's a rare thing, but it's a thing because but aren't they identical? Because normally identical twins, but no, because I don't think identical twins can't be a boy.
No, identical can't, but like fraternal really could, but I guess.
No. Because when it's identical twins, the eggs split. And that's where you get the identical. They have got to be fraternal, meaning there was 2 eggs because they're boy-girl.
Yeah.
The only way a woman could get pregnant with 2 eggs and 2 different sperm is if she had sex with one guy and then immediately had sex with another guy when she's
that's what dogs do.
ovulating or whatever.
Still come out looking
That's what dogs do.
I mean,
Go ahead, Brian. No, that's really a thing. Ask Kerri.
Would those if the twins had 2 separate fathers, would they still come out looking like mirrors of each other?
yeah.
I mean, you ever seen a brother and sister
Close.
who there was no doubt they was brother and sister, but they wasn't twins? Hell yeah, it can happen.
You can look a lot alike if they both look like, their
Me and my
mother.
brother look nothing alike, and we got the same parents.
So Amanda and Kat
Or
said
so I'm told.
if
Yeah.
the dragons need to be restored to the world to restore the natural order of life, What do y'all think? Do you think all the dragons should die, or do you think dragons should be reborn into the world?
There's got to be the balance. Like, I don't think the Night King's going to be killed. I think he's just going to be pushed back.
I think there's something else
because
to
you
get rid of the Night King.
have one without the other.
I
Yeah.
think dragons are going to be done. But I think Danny's going to try to hatch some dragons. I can.
No, I think
Definitely in the book.
I think we'll help too by the end of it. Nymeria and Ghost, I'm just saying.
Oh, Nightmare and Ghost better have some wolf puppies.
Yeah, we're gonna have a clutch of dragon eggs. And think about it, there's clutches of dragon eggs all over Dragonstone too. This whole time, everyone just kind of forgot about them.
I loved Ghost in this chapter. Where was he in the episode? I'm still upset about that. But Ghost in this chapter, he was so cute. He was like bouncing his tail up. And
I've got one thing to bitch about the episode, because I know before I said I really have a problem with it. But if I do have one thing to bitch about, it's the constant omission of Ghost.
The constant what?
Omission of him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. So many people were looking forward to that.
I love the direwolves. We gotta have the direwolves.
Like, why? Anyways. But Ghost was wonderful in this chapter. I was so happy that he was like bouncing around and, happy to see John. He's going to go on the range. Ghost was ready.
One thing I really enjoyed in this chapter was the old bear, just the little quips he made and jokes and stuff, like, about.
Oh yeah, about his sister taking a bear as a lover.
On the ranging because he's too old, and shit. The Raven saying king, and he says the realm has 3 kings already. That's too many for me. That's
he's good.
Just like looking through and picking some stuff. And
who do y'all think the Raven is?
About Sam being a fool and he runs out the door. What did he say about Sam?
Yeah, the crow saying king. I definitely think it's Blood Raven. I mean, warging into him.
Yeah.
Is that the theory we're going with?
I think it's Benjen.
Is Benjen warging into him?
Yeah, he's a star. Come on.
Well, no, I mean, I think he can warg, but that's the first time I'd heard that. I just had never heard that theory before. Most people Blood Raven warging into the crow.
I started off thinking Blood Raven too, but then I kind of got turned towards Benjen. Yeah. And like when he says corn, he's really saying corn. And all his little tricks that he does. But no, I kind of think Benjen.
That's an interesting. I have to think about that one. I don't know.
Another little clip from.
Well, Benjen was a crow, and he's missing. I don't necessarily think he's clove hand. So.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
He knew everything.
That's his second.
He was there at the tourney of Harrenhal, so. I love when Mormont, when Sam leaves, he's like, is that boy as big a fool as he seems? Just little things like that.
Mormont was good in this.
Yes.
He talks about doubting the fact that his sister took a lover as a bear as a lover.
Oh, yeah. But the whole thing
I ain't seen any 15-foot bears.
Well, have y'all not heard about that? Like, the bear he supposedly was with was a Mormont, Tormund.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that's very believable. Perhaps he had a bear skin, and she was out in the wilderness being a weirdo with a bear skin on, and maybe a drunk person might actually think that they slept with a she bear, and I guess he did.
But he says he stayed with them like all winter. So I think he just stayed on Bear Island all winter, shacking up with one of the Mormonts. I don't know if it was necessarily Madge or one of her daughters, like Stacy or Alice, one of the daughters, older daughters. But yeah, he shacked up with one of them.
He said that she gave. strong sons. She gave them strong sons when she left her coat. When she left,
Yeah.
she left her bear coat when she left. So yeah, it very well. I think it is. I've always kind of thought it
Me
was. I
too.
love the story of it.
Me
Yeah.
too. That's one crazy theory I think is probably actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in this,
And we know you didn't fuck a bear. Everybody knows you didn't fuck a bear.
Egret,
And right.
that's my girl.
And here's
hey, listen, if she wants to say
and
talk to Bear, let her say she talked to Bear.
literally, and he's the most literal. He's the most literal person on there. Probably the most honest person on there, and everyone thinks he's like dicking around and joking around. And he's probably. We need to like listen to him and listen to what he's saying because yeah, he's silly, you know. And we're like, that's just joking. He's being silly. No, he's like, he's being real, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, like, he did sleep with
let's
the
take it
bear.
a little more seriously. And
Also,
yeah,
in this chapter, we got the first mention of Satin, but not by name. And like they talk about recruits from Galltown, and one of them is like the boy.
Rob being all in satin silks. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was kind
do y'all think that was Oliver in the show?
of, well. Do you think? I mean, I don't think Satin is one of the people that betrays John at the end of.
No. Mm-mm.
But maybe.
No.
He was one of my favorite characters. Actually, I was kind of
Yeah.
really upset.
Yeah, I wish Satin was in the show.
Yeah.
He'd be a good addition, I think. I don't know why they didn't.
Wasn't he up on the tower with John when they attacked Castle Black in the book?
So we didn't have any more of those.
I don't remember. Maybe.
I
don't
think
know.
so.
But do you
He
think
was
that?
up there with Satin and one other guy. The one
Yeah,
with
there's
the wooden teeth or something.
There was a theory. I know Satin's in the books. He's there, but I don't know on the show.
No, I don't think he's on the show.
Yeah, but in the books, he's up on the wall. Yeah, but
Oh, I thought he was on top of the like when they attack from the south. They have, and he sees Egret get killed. He's up on the rooftop.
oh, maybe.
Satin helping him shoot arrows.
Yeah. Yes. I think so. Yes.
Okay. And then one other guy, but I can't remember. And then the Thins or whoever make it up in the tower and like they pour hot oil down on top of them.
Yeah.
A trap door. What a horrible way to die.
Totally not gonna happen.
Right there, get in your way.
But
No. I had a BC.
do you think there's some people who said that, like, I guess a theory that because like Satin's from Galltown, but Littlefinger, and he was like a whore, that Littlefinger placed like a spy in the Night's Watch.
Bubba Husky wrote hashtag Justin for Satin.
I mean, everybody deserves justice. Yeah.
Yes, Satin.
Bubba's a trip. Bubba, I'm coming to find you. I don't know where you live in Tennessee, but I'm not far away.
You're right down the road. Everywhere in Tennessee, just right down the road. Or down the mountain.
Up the road.
But I was looking at, like, okay, it introduced the Satin in this chapter.
Hey, by the way, Tennessee folks. So Jamie Lannister is going to be at the con in Knoxville here coming up. My bestie told me about it. She's just outside Knoxville. So I'm talking to you, Bubba. And OTDA, wherever the hell y'all both right there by Knoxville.
Okay, anyway,
He's gonna be at the National.
we get Satin introduced in this chapter, and then in italics, also in this chapter, it's talking about what all the guys are doing and how John had been invited to go to Moultown and go to the Hoe House. And in italics, you know, not a lot of stuff in the books is in italics. It says some men seek whores before a night of battle, and some men seek gods. And it talks about the people that went to Molestown, and then the people in the set singing that he can hear. So it's just funny that they mention gods and whores in the same sentence, and then later we get Satin introduced to the story.
And then also John says, like, a few lines later, he talks about, like, we're going to the place of where my gods are, you know? I love that whole passage.
me
I
too.
actually had that marked, Jen, too. Like, I just think it's, the way they talk about like whores and religion.
And God, yeah.
And then John's like, I'm going to see my gods. And like, his gods were always supposed to be in the north, anyways, like at Winterfell. So like, I don't know. There's something so interesting about him saying that and like foreboding and I don't know,
Right.
but,
And then we also get Melisandre being a whore for her God.
right?
Well, about who John's gods are, he's worshiping a tree that essentially is the representative of a goddess.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they're their ancestors, right? Because like,
Okay, well, all right. You need think of the werewood trees as like Persephone's pomegranate tree.
right. Well, but also like I've read that there's a theory that the children of the forest buried their dead underneath the werewoods, or like so they grew into.
They're supposed to be their spirit.
I thought they.
Yeah, and their spirit supposedly go into the trees to live on, and they first started carving the faces in it so that they could watch the handles, supposedly. But this is what the maesters tell us. Remember that,
Right.
but the way to put eyes.
I thought it would be more of the sacrificial. I'm sorry, Ree. The sacrificial part.
Oh, no, you're okay.
Like watering the werewood tree.
Yeah,
And
like
just
that
the
too.
children being
Well,
the children being
what
buried.
she says about slaughtering the lamb. She's really good at slaughtering lambs. You know, you lead them up to it. So what have the old gods been doing? And what and all
Well,
them the first man they sacrificing to the werewoods.
Yeah.
They've been bringing the
Fertilizer.
They used to hang the guts of their enemies, their entrails of their enemies on the werewood tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
They still do.
The Dothraki. Isn't that what the Dothraki had hanging when they took the lamb in? There was something hanging from the tree. I don't know if that was people's
I would love to
testimony
see,
or what.
man. I'd love to see Sansa and Jon and Arya hang some like enemies' guts. They should have put the Bolton's guts up on their tree.
Yeah.
Like, here, Ramsay's insides. I would have appreciated that.
How about the damn Glovers?
I was reading an account of an execution. So I can't remember whose it was, but they had him tied up on a ladder. They sliced his genitalia off and threw it in the fire, and then cut his guts out and threw it in a fire, and then cut his heart out alive and threw it in the fire, and then quartered him and put his head on London Bridge. I remember who that was.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Overkill.
That's something the Mayans would freaking be doing, you know.
If you gotta go out, man.
I can hear, but I'll be right back. I won't be able to talk for a second.
That way, but you know.
Actually, yeah, I can. Never mind. I can still talk. I'm not on camera. I had to put my phone in, but then I got.
It's old witch's tale. If you can find like wherever a man is. When they hang you, you know, you kind of lose your faculties. If you can find a hanged man under which where he has spilled his seed and dig up a mandrake, and two people take it, that they'll be together forever.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard that. Yeah.
You just reminded me of fire and ISIS.
I don't know if it's true or not. I've never shared a mandrake with anybody. All right, we're getting way off topic here. So, did y'all know in season 8, episode 1, he had a cameo? Bubba Husky.
I know. I was about to no.
Who had a cameo?
No, I didn't see that. There was a pile of dog shit in the corner.
Who had a cameo?
Bubba, thank you for coming on because you always just crack me up.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. Bubba says all of dog do in the courtyard. Bubba, shit. God. I was like, what? Okay, like I was saying, oh my God. All right, and Amanda says, I have long thought about the wall being of how many walls I build and people build to keep people out, and I'm always struggling internally to break down a wall and keep people out and to let people in. Just an idea. I mean, I think there's a lot of symbolism for relationships in the books. Like, I'm surprised one of these authors who writes a third party book about Game of Thrones hadn't come out with a book about that yet. I mean, we'll probably see one.
Right.
Frank will give us that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of her
Frank
books.
will give us
Yeah.
a book on the human
I got a couple of
representative. Oh, Lord.
Oh God, where are we in the chapter now? I need to have to put my book down.
We're just skipping around mostly.
Okay.
Skipping around it to the like parts.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
You know, John says this is the end of the world, and we're going beyond the walls. Beyond the wall. So this is. I wonder when this has happened in Night's Watch history before, with taking like every guy they have and
Like a great ranging.
right, and then
I don't know if they're
half hand meeting up with them, and then I know it's later on, but they talk about how they're gonna, they're trying to find out where the wildlings are and seeing Craster, but why? I guess their destination was the Fist of the First Men because it was a good defensive location, or they thought it would be.
Well, and I think like.
And I hated how they got, this is on the show, but how they got so mad at Sam Mormont did for not sending those ravens. Because, I mean.
What was he supposed to do?
Thank you. It was his job, but I mean, shit.
I know, right? But like.
Let me write this note. So.
Yeah, it's not like you're in the midst of like a battle with these like dead people walking at you. You're going to like, let me get my quill and my ink. Like it's not like they had like their cell phones like text. Even then, I'd be like,
"You guys hold on a second. I need to write a note." What was that?
I don't know.
What? What was it?
A loud noise.
the thing I like.
I got a text message from somebody, and it went.
Yeah,
And that's an awful ringtone. Sorry.
It's my text message.
There's two more things I know. That I liked in this chapter. One is just in the Night's Watch how they the Night's Watch they mention a lot of people like that have these family names that like we hear later on, like there's a Smallwood, and then there's also like the Tarth, like Sir Andrew Tarth. I'm like, how is he related to Brienne? And I really like, I like that. And then also just the end I thought was a lot of foreshadowing for John finding out he's the king of Westeros and is going to marry a princess and is going to this is actually going to happen, but he never ever thought it would happen to him. And I think he's always going to feel like conflicted about that. He's always going to feel like this wasn't,
Does anyone know who Andrew Tarth is?
I don't know. Let me look it up. I'll look it up.
Like a cousin, or because I know he's not Brienne's, brother or sister or whatever.
Yeah, because she didn't have any brothers.
Yeah. Well, thanks for looking it up because I was
She
wondering
doesn't
about
have any brothers or sisters. They all died. None of them survived. Brienne's an only child. Her father was Severo.
Say that again, son.
Say
his relation. He's a relation to Sir Selwyn Tarth of Evenfall.
Yeah.
Or his relation is unknown.
Okay.
So they don't know.
All right.
Some cousin.
Yeah. That's
Younger brother, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. I was curious though.
Me too, because they're pretty southern, and we don't see many people join the Night's Watch willingly from that camp. And interesting to know that.
I wonder if he, was there for some crime.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm into. Interesting to know if that particular noble family that I believe is descended from Duncan the Tall could have committed a crime and gotten, sentenced to the wall or asked to be sent to the wall, not a voluntary thing necessarily. So,
well, he could have. It could be too in the rebellion. Like a lot of guys, if they fought on the wrong side, were given the opportunity to join the wall. So that's like Alistair Thorne.
true that, but Tarth would have been Baratheon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they should have came out on the winning side.
Right.
Unless they pulled a Stanley.
That's the thing with Donald Noy, right? Like we were talking about, like how'd he get there? Like what he did? Well, he cut off his arm and then like he joined up. So
I knew my phone was gonna die quick, and it's on 8%. That sucks. Let me go see if I can charge it a little bit.
Well, we have come to the end of the chapter.
Okay.
And next week, we have chapter 7, Caitlin 1.
Yes.
So you guys are all excited.
I am. I like Catelyn chapters.
Well, her chapters are good. They're informative. Nothing else.
Yeah. What is, I wonder, I know I need to read it, of course, since I'm in a book club, but I'm just wondering what the chapter's about. I haven't read that far. Oh man, my phone's hot.
It says Catelyn Stark watches as her son Robb Stark presents his peace terms to Sir Cleo Spray. Afterwards, Catelyn argues with Robb over his refusal to exchange Jaime Lannister.
You like my new Cersei picture?
I did.
People think I'm weird for having it, but it's from Geek Chat 1. So
I missed the one with the wildfire.
Yeah, I'll put that one back up. That one's a good one. I just was scrolling through, and I need to go find it because I haven't.
Every time that something happens, I'm like, why don't they just use the wildfire?
Yeah,
that's what Cersei's gonna do. I don't know why. I don't know why Tyrion didn't bring it up and be like, we could get wildfire. You don't need. Well, anyway.
What about the wildfire?
Yeah, they could use wildfire to fight the Night King, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm wondering since we're kind of finished with the chapter, the scene that was shot that people were like, oh, it's a fake scene to throw you, showing Jon and Cersei talking in King's Landing.
Oh no, they're really gonna. They were really in King's Landing. They're really gonna be.
Yeah,
talking.
I believe that. I just want to know. I'm just so wondering what they're talking about. Is next week's episode another hour one, and then after that they get longer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 58 minutes next week or something like that.
Okay.
And then
I'm gonna make a cake. With Fran sent me the wolf cake pan, and I believe I had the Oreos for last week, but I believe I'm gonna have a wolf cake for this week.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Bubba Husky has a theory about Donald Noy, and I'm gonna share it. And it's entirely messed up, but as we know, stuff in Westeros is entirely messed up. He lost his arm at the siege of Storm's End, and Stannis sent him to the wall. That's bizarre. That's all we get. Bubba Husky, it's maddening. Bubba Husky proposed earlier that they ate it.
Yeah. And then what did he say about Stannis? The rain's making me have a hard time hearing y'all.
That he felt bad about having to look at him with his gimp arm, basically.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
I don't think Stannis feels bad.
I very well believe is okay if everybody in that city was starving. Not necessarily that Stannis ate his arm, but him and his family ate it.
Yeah,
like he
and considered that a violation of the 7, which is what they worship.
Well, it could be that Donald Noy got injured and his arm had to be amputated, and then they ate it. But I don't see anybody just going up and hacking his arm off for food, except the Thins or some shit.
We know they would do it. We know they would do it.
Yeah, really.
Let's chop it. Make some stew.
fat and marbled and ugh.
I mean, we know from the prologue or whatever. Well, we know later. Jumping ahead, but we know people consider that like you're not supposed to be a cannibal. Like
Yeah, it's an abomination. Yeah.
it's like total violation. I wanted to say, Bubba, that perhaps he cut it off himself and ate it, and I wouldn't have even.
Ah,
I saw this horrible like bee zombie movie. Or like what movie was that where they've got people still? Oh, I guess Walking Dead was doing it, where they're all butchering people. But this one movie I watched, they keeping people alive even after they're missing them, like just cutting pieces of them off. Yeah,
Liposuction. I guess
I'll
if you
watch
felt
it.
you really wanted some liposuction, that's how you.
I was watching an American
Oh,
Dad
really? So
episode, and they
bad.
got stuck in a cave and ended up eating the girl that had died. I love that show, like Family Guy and all that.
That's what
American
they said
Dad.
happened to their daughter's pass.
Huh? Oh yeah. We went by there when we visited. Out in California. That's where Robert's sister
All right,
lived.
Nancy. Nancy T's like, I'm never going to be that hungry. That's the one time I believe I would be a vegan.
I don't know if you're starving, man. It came down to it. I know it's a bad thing to do, but I've never been in that situation before, so it's hard to say.
I mean, I'll let y'all know if we have an apocalypse. How it all.
You know what happened on American Dad? Nobody wanted to eat her but the mom, and then they read her driver's license and saw that she was an organ donor. So then
yeah,
we're like,
no,
okay, it'll be all right.
I'm not an organ donor, just for reference.
I am
an organ.
I don't know what I have left they can use, but
Right.
I want to take it back.
What now?
Please don't.
I am an organ donor, but I want to take it back.
Well, I've heard
No,
people
it's
say,
okay. But it doesn't matter. You're going to be dead, so you're not going to know if we eat you.
Yeah, you
well,
won't
this is what I hear. People are like, oh, if you're an organ donor, then they're just going to let you die. And I'm like, okay, that's just ridiculous.
I don't
so
think
they can get your organs, but
your family still has to make that decision. Like
yeah,
your
I don't
family.
think that's true because, like, you can put "do not resuscitate" on yourself, but unless it's order, I know in this state, like that does not matter. Like, you can get a tattoo that says "do not resuscitate," and
they will still resuscitate you.
Unless
really?
it's a document that it doesn't hold water.
Yeah,
I need
because
to do a living will. With my heart surgeries, I've told my mom and dad, my mom and my husband that, you can keep me on machines for a little while, but not longer than, a couple months or whatever. And if I'm not able to do anything without machines helping me, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live that way. Just be stuck there in a hospital bed. So,
Well, you
I just
guys,
need to.
I am about to have to hop off here soon.
And we're going to wrap up right now. So, Brian, why don't you do our shout outs for us next week? Chapter 7, Caitlin 1. I guess I'll take that overview. I haven't done one in a minute, and I'll get that. And, Brian, would you do the shout outs, please, babe?
Tonight we had Nancy T, Living on a Prayer, Peter Griffin, Bubba Husky, The Fearless Mermaid, Drinks and No Things, The Westerosi Ninja, AU Pack Mule, The Imagination Realm, Mandolin 523, Meyer 27.
Yeah.
And I just want to say everyone have a happy 420 on Saturday, a happy Easter on Sunday, and a happy Game of Thrones on Sunday. And have a good Earth Day on Monday.
Yeah.
You covered everything. And
Wrapped it up. Yeah.
everybody check out Bubba Husky's latest blog on Amino. Also,
Oh, fun. I'm in Amino big time. Yeah.
we really appreciate that. Revenge of
Okay.
AU Pack Mule was in here. Carlisa from the Imagination
Well,
here. And we have several other people who blog and do other things. And as always, check out their stuff. All of them have really interesting creative content, and it's
Mhm.
all pretty nice.
Thanks all the chat. I can't see you got the chat right now. I had to plug my phone in. So
Oh, let me turn my back.
Um,
Oh, also, I have on a book club T-shirts, but let me look. I think they're a little bit high, and that's just the way the company was that I made them with, or whatever. And I'm going to do what I can to try to get in touch with the company and be like, look, I don't need to make any profit. Just make the T-shirt more affordable. So,
yeah.
Russell says that the wolf looks too friendly.
I like
So
that.
I'm like, we're
I
friendly.
like his eye. He looks like he has real thick eyebrows.
You guys see the back?
Yeah.
Oh yes. I still need to find it on there. I need to find the link properly. I've not been able to find it.
It's on Teespring, I think,
No,
right, Jen?
I couldn't find them. I gotta figure it out.
Okay.
Okay, everybody. And with that, everybody have a great weekend. And Fran, go over that one more time. Was that 420? Do that one more time.
I said on Saturday, everyone have a happy 420, and then on Sunday, have a good Easter and a good Game of Thrones, and then Earth Day is on Monday.
Cool.
So like plant a tree or something. I don't
I
know.
used to go to the zoo on Earth Day.
All right, y'all. Awesome. We shall see y'all.
Okay. Had fun.